Hi. So today I'm not with my wet hair. I went to my swimming class and after it I went to the gym, and then I had some time because my student this morning canceled her class, so I had some time to take a shower and get ready and make a video with a little more aesthetic production. So this weekend was again very tiring, and I'm kind of getting used to it because every weekend I have so many things to do, and I don't really have enough time to rest and sleep and watch TV or whatever. I had meetings, many meetings. On Saturday morning I was supposed to go to my French class, but I couldn't. I just couldn't get out of bed. I was so tired. And I didn't go, which is bad because it's the second class in a row that I don't go. And I'm afraid that I'll never be able to speak French ever because it's too much for me. I think it's very heavy. And then in the afternoon I had a class to teach. I have a kid on Saturday afternoons. She's 4 years old. She's the cutest. And then I had a meeting of the feminist collective, and then I had another meeting of the institute. We just started a feminist institute in Blumenau, an NGO, non-government organization, because we wanted to go a little beyond what a feminist collective can do. We want to be able to do more things that require money, and maybe public money, and we would need a CNPJ for that, and we would need to be an institute, an NGO, to be able to participate in the public editais, and I don't know how to say edital in English. So we decided to do that, and the institute is settled and it's done, and we are going to have a party to launch it, and not really a party, it's more like a ceremony. So we were organizing that on Saturday evening. And on Sunday I had to go to Florianopolis because I had a meeting with some debates that we had to do inside the party that I am affiliated to, and it was all day long of debates and discussions about Brazil and politics and Latin America and how we can make a difference with all these things that are happening. But today I don't really want to talk about politics or feminism because I think I talked about it last week. So let's change the subject a little. I want to talk to you a little about the end of my relationship, which may come as a surprise because I think that most of you didn't even know that I had a boyfriend, and now I don't anymore, so nothing changed. We were dating for 2 months almost, and it was kind of official, which was already difficult for me because for some years I'm not really closed relationship person. I don't like the commitment. I don't like jealousy. I don't like people asking me where I went, who I was with, what I did. I don't like these strings that come with a traditional official relationship. But I ended up agreeing with that because he really wanted to make it official, and I don't really care about that. Probably you know I never talk about men or my relationship on Facebook, and I never change my relationship status. But I ended up agreeing because he looked like a nice guy and I thought it was worth it trying, But then I decided that this should end, and thank God that he doesn't speak English, so he won't be watching this video. But I decided that it should end because although I had some ground rules, some basic things that I would not concede, it ended up not being a relationship that I felt like I was being respected. Because I said from the beginning that I have my priorities and they wouldn't change. My priority is not having a relationship, although of course I think it's nice to have one, to have company, and you know, to have someone you can count on and things like that. But this is not the priority of my life. The priority of my life would be number one, feminism and my friends, my girl friends, and my pets, of course, my dogs and cats, and all the political activism that I engage in, like my political party and the vegan activism and all these causes that are so important for me. And then of course, then would come the relationship. And I know this sounds a little selfish, but I don't want that everybody does that, you know, put a relationship as the last priority. But I think this is my way of existing in the world, and this is how I feel happy and accomplished and fulfilled, doing the things that I believe in and engaging in activities that I think that are actually going to make a difference. But I left this pretty clear, and I told that I wouldn't put all these things second because of the relationship. And then he said that it was okay, and we would meet whenever I had the time, usually at night, after I finished all my appointments. But then it sounded to me that he really wanted to change me, and I felt this very offensive. He actually said so sometimes. He said, when we started, he said, "Oh, you are going to change. I'll make you change because you are going to love me so much that you are going to change your priorities." And then I just laughed, and okay. I never said I would change, and I never said I would like to change. But okay, if you want to believe that, I'm telling you I won't, you know. And then we broke up last week on Saturday, I think, Friday, the day of the Pet Fest. I broke up with him for some other reasons that I don't even remember. But then this week he sent me a message saying that he was feeling bad and that he loved me, and you know, all these things that people say when they are desperate. And I wasn't willing to give him a chance anyway, because I don't go back on my decisions. When I decide to do something, I do. So when I decide to break up with someone, it's because I really feel that there's no possibility of mending whatever is broken. So I was sure that I didn't want to get back together. And then yesterday, I think, we were having a nice, pleasant conversation, and he said something, I'm looking for it on my cell phone to actually remember, and he wanted to come here to meet me, whatever, to talk to me and probably ask me to get back together with him. And then at some point yesterday he said, you are going to change because you've changed in some areas. I noticed. I'm not going to tell you what I noticed, but one day I will write a book about your before and after. He thinks that I already changed because I did some things for him, some nice things. For example, one day he wanted to eat cheese bread, and then I cooked some cheese bread. I baked some cheese bread for him. Something nice that I did, and I usually do nice things to people, regardless if they are boyfriend or friends. I like pleasing people. I like pleasing the people that I like. And when he said that, it was pretty late yesterday, and I was tired of going back and forth from Florianopolis, so I just went to bed. And then this morning I was so pissed off about this that I really wanted to tell him that, dude, give up, it's over, I don't want anything with you. And in the morning I get a little talkative and sometimes a little rude. Then I sent him a message that probably you don't know, but I have been building this Georgia for years. I love who I am today. You have no idea how offensive it is when you say that you are going to change me. You want to destroy my essence and make me turn into someone else. If you want a different person, you should look for a different person. When you think and when you say that the nice things that I've done for you during this time are symptoms that I have already changed some things, this is a signal that you really don't know me. These kind things I do for anyone, even for dogs on the streets. I said that. You are not so special, and I didn't change because of you. I am exactly who I've always been. So, I know, I was harsh. I didn't want to be that harsh, but I really wanted to make a stop, give up. Don't send me messages, don't call me late at night, don't have any hope that the situation is going to change. But the point here is not what I did to this guy, because probably you are feeling sorry for him right now. The point here is, why do you want to change the people that you love? Of course, there are some things that are acceptable. For example, my father, he has a high blood pressure and he eats very bad. So, of course, at some point, I'm going to try to change his eating habits because I want him to live the longest possible to be with us. It's my father. So I would try to make him change some eating habits. But personality things, like why can't you accept that the other person is different than you? Why sometimes it's like your relationship objective that the other person adapts to what you expect her to be or to do. And I really hate that, because I never ask anyone to do something to change the way they are because of me. If I'm not happy with the way the other person is, I leave. I leave. Why do you have to make these stressful relationship dynamics, where you're bossing the person around, telling him what he should do or shouldn't do, trying to, like I said, trying to destroy the other person's essence, People are what they are. Of course we can change, but we are not going to change for somebody else. I've changed a lot these past few years. I wasn't always a vegetarian, I wasn't always a vegan, I wasn't always a feminist, I wasn't always a runner. I changed a lot, and I'm always changing, but for me, for the things that I want to improve my life, for the things that I believe, I wouldn't change because a boyfriend wants me to be more, more similar to what he considers to be the ideal girlfriend. I don't care about what he considers to be the ideal girlfriend. If I'm not the ideal girlfriend, he should get out there in the world, look for the ideal girlfriend, and date this other person who's not Georgia. So, I don't know. Maybe you think that I'm too radical, but I don't care. So, that's it for today. I've talked a lot. Bye.